everybody, Admiral Funko here, and welcome to my new series, Organize with me, and recall Funko Pop history with me. So I thought it would be fun to set up my camera as I organize, so you guys get to watch me organize, and hopefully I can instill some type of knowledge on you guys on how I organize my pops and what shelves I use. Pretty much just make it informational, and make it informational about pops as well. I've been collecting for almost 6 years. I feel like it's been forever, considering the fact that I have so many pops. If you're new to my channel, I do have a very substantial Funko Pop collection, about 1,755, and it grows every single day. I got pops on the way. So I'm going to show you guys how I organize every series of pops, and every series of pops is going to be different. So what I advise when you first want to start organizing, if you're like me and there's just pops everywhere, you can't keep track of them, and Stashpedia is confusing, and even Stashpedia can, like, you're buying duplicates even though Stashpedia says you don't have them, like me. That's why we organize, and that is why we do videos on it. So what I'm going to do in this video is show you how I'm going to organize my Lord of the Rings collection and my Game of Thrones collection. Hopefully have some anecdotes that go with certain pops that I bought, reasons why I love the series, stuff like that. So it might be a little long, but it's going to be a multi-part series because I got a lot of them. So what I'm doing here, as you can see right here, there are two different shelves. That is because I installed these brand new shelves just now, and I have to take this shelf down before I put the other one up, and I'll explain what shelves I use because I need to do a new shelf video too. But what I'm doing right now is, of course, I have to clear off this shelf before I can put a new shelf up, and I've already organized a part of my Lord of the Rings collection because I did do a video and I was just mumbling and it wasn't going anywhere, and I was going to have a hell of a time cutting that together. So, plain and simple, I'm going to explain to you how I'm organizing my Lord of the Rings collection, my Hobbit collection, my Game of Thrones collection, which will be different for every single collection. It all depends on the collection. Now, for the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, as seen behind me, I'm organizing them from number. So they're all based in the movies category, but I will not organize them in with the other pops that are categorized in the movie category. Simply because it's Lord of the Rings, and it doesn't go anywhere else. Lord of the Rings stays where Lord of the Rings stuff stays. And the only downside to this collection is I do have the Arwen Aragorn 2-pack, I do have all the 6-inchers, all the Smogs, the Treebeard, and one of the Belrogs. I don't have the glow-in-the-dark Belrog, which is sad. And that is one complication I run to with my collection every single time, is that when you have this big of a collection, you have to organize them by the 3.5 inchers, and then you have to put all the 6 inchers together and all the 9 inches together. And then you have these random sporadic ones of all these different sizes, which drive me nuts. So, I organize these by number, of course, and I'll give a brief little story about these pops. So, The Unexpected Journey was the first we ever saw of Hobbit or Lord of the Rings pops. It came out with Bilbo Baggins and a Hot Topic exclusive, which of course is Bilbo Baggins with spiderwebs on it. And then of course Gandalf and Gollum came with it. Then we got The Desolation of Smaug, which gave us Invisible Bilbo, Gandalf, Legolas, and then a blue-eyed Legolas Greenleaf because his eyes were ridiculously blue in that movie. They should have put eyeliner around his eyes because, you know, he had eyeliner, which was a Hot Topic exclusive. And then, of course, we got Thor and Azog, and then that was it, because I believe, the only ones that we got for the Battle of the Five Armies was Tariel and, Smaug, were the only ones that we really got for Battle of the Five Armies. We didn't get anything else for Battle of the Five Armies, but we did get a Sauron pop, which is great, and then we went into Lord of the Rings, where we got Gandalf, Frodo, and then, of course, a Chase Frodo, and oh my god, what is that? Oh my, what is that? You know, I always find my pops dirty, and it's infuriating. So, We got a Chase Frodo Baggins, and then we got a Sam. He glows in the dark because he's got the light of Elendil. I can't say the name. We got Nazgul, Saruman, and then of course, what was not included in the box, on the back of the box, was of course the Twilight Ring Wraith, which was of course a Hot Topic exclusive, and Treebeard. No, Belrog. Belrog came with that series, and then the next series we got was literally the rest of the Fellowship. Not really the rest of the Fellowship, but the rest of the Hobbits, which came with Treebeard. And I'm just going to continue to organize it by number. We stopped at 449, and this one starts at 528. So, literally, I need Merry, Pippin, Liz Sherman. What are you doing in here? See, this is what's happening in my collection, where literally, it's like, why is a Hellboy pop next to the Dunharrow King? Why? It doesn't make sense to me. Comment down below if you're like me, to where these things can't happen in life, because it creates anarchy. Anarchy! Alright, so Pippin, Treebeard is over there, and then of course we had Aragorn. We had 2 Golems. We had the... Hold on. Is there a normal Golem I don't have? This is another reason why we have to organize our pops, ladies and gentlemen, because I do believe I do not have a regular Golem. I have the Chase version and the Barnes & Noble exclusive version, which I'm a little upset with the box that's coming out that I have yet to find with the new Galadriel in it. You get this one too, so that's going up on Macari real quick. So, and of course we got King Aragorn as well, which he is not included in the back of the box. So I literally sit here. You're dirty too? Oh my goodness. Things just get so dirty. Everybody's like, you're like a mom. You're looking, yeah, that, need my babies. Okay. 31, 32. Where's Rex? 33. And of course I am messing this up, as I always do in every video, because I need my stool. Alright. And move those over. Good job here. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Look at that. And of course, we've got our new Lord of the Rings pops that I did a video on from my last pop hunt. And of course, we start with 628, which is Legolas. 629 is Gimli, isn't it? I couldn't find a Gimli. Oh, I need to find Gimli. But then Boromir. And then Galadriel. The Witch King. Dunharrow King. And Elrond. Alright! So that's how I'm going to organize my Lord of the Rings and Hobbit collection. They're right here, right now, because I'm about to show you how to install. Alright, so somebody asked me in the comments below, so sorry I never got back to you. These shelves are literally buried in the closet. And I know everybody's going to be like, well, I thought you cleaned out that closet. I did. And it's a mess again, because that's how quickly my house becomes a mess over time. But you can get the shelves that I'm about to install. This shelf right here, which is replacing these shelves. And I'm going to show you why I decided to upgrade my shelves, because I have about 25 of these things. There's so many of them. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. And I wish I had a fire pit, because I burn them. But, see how I can easily just move that? Literally, I could probably rip it off the wall. This doesn't move. Like, it moves a little bit, but not so much. So these shelves are called the Mosslanda. Alright, I do believe the specs that a gentleman wanted me to give them on YouTube, they're 115 centimeters or 45¼ inch long, and their width is the length or the width of a Funko Pop. So literally, take a Funko Pop like this, and it slides perfectly in. Because it doesn't give me the specs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take down this old shelf, and I'm going to show you how to install this shelf. So you're going to unwrap it. I had to. I'd be like, you know what, we gotta take it out of the packaging. You know, there has to be something out there to where people accidentally do things because it's like, okay, install the shelf, and they just don't take the packaging off. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't think it's a real thing. Alright, so it comes with instructions, and I highly advise that if you've never installed these shelves before, to read the instructions. Now, there are a couple ways, as I throw the instructions away, because I'm not going to use them, how you can install this shelf. There are two ways. One way I say no to, because I used to install the shelf this way, and I came home to a lot of collapsed shelves, and a lot of frustration. I think in one of my videos, you actually see my frustration, because I had my entire Disney collection collapse on top of me, and that's no fun. So, the appropriate way to install the shelf is like so. Now, some people, I used to be, you know, an advocate of this, just hated the fact that there's this little lip here. So you got this lip, literally right here, and I hated that it blocked part of the shelf, or the pop. So I was installing the shelves like this. Now, unless you can install them with wall anchors and into a stud, don't do it, because literally they are so top heavy in the way they're designed, this is gonna happen. It literally, like, your pops will be sitting there happy-dory one day, and just, whoop, oh, your pops are on the floor. Ask me how I know. So, I highly advise that if you do get these shelves, install it the proper way. There's just only a little bit of a lip, and it's easy to live with. I live with it. I still don't like it, but I'd rather have my pops secure on the wall, and not worrying that I'm gonna come home and all my pops are just gonna be in the center of the floor, and I go, oh god, why? You know what I mean? So, I'm going to install this. If you don't have a level, go out right now, get a level, don't eyeball it, because every single time I've eyeballed it, I've literally left this room in frustration and had to start another day, because it is a lot of work to curate this collection. I always say that on my videos, I'm a curator more than a collector, because it's literally finding all the pieces and putting them in their proper spot in the room. I should have a pop museum. I'll think about it. Right. So how I'm going to install this, because I have another shelf right here installed right next to it. The shelf is going to lie to you. This is where I say don't eyeball it. How I base it of where the shelf needs to go is I make it flush with the bottom, and then sometimes the shelf may seem like it's not level with the other shelves when it really is, because it'll cause issues when you try to stack them floor to ceiling or with other shelves, because pops won't fit, and then pops will start to get damaged, and you don't want that. So what I do is I literally line it up with the bottom so that it's flush with the bottom. And of course you can see that some of the shelves, I mean, this aligns really well with this shelf, but I have a shelf over there. It doesn't align at all. It looks like it's not supposed to be there, but trust me, it's supposed to be there. So what I do, highly recommend that if you have a partner or a friend or somebody who can help you put up shelves, get them. I don't have any, so yeah, I'm just gonna do it by myself. Alright. With levels, put it in the center. And of course there are 3 holes already drilled in there for your screws. And my arm's getting tired, but literally, I line this up, make sure that the bottom is flush, and then of course, I play the level game of where it needs to be on the wall until it's level. And I hold it as tight as I can because I'm doing this by myself, because it'll shift. And I always install the center screw before the other ones, because the center one is guaranteed level. And then, of course, if it goes up and down, you just re-level it. And of course, always triple check your level every single time when you're installing it. And you know, because right now you can tell it's not flush. You can kind of tell that this shelf looks like it's higher than the other one, but it's not. Maybe just a little bit. But what I care about specifically, if you've ever seen the large wall, is that complete flushness to where it goes, you know, wall of pops, this black line wall of pops, and they're flush, and it helps so that you're not putting more pressure on the pops than you have to. Now, I did a lot of trial and error with the other wall. There's a time lapse on it, but literally, if you don't know how many pops that are going to stack here, I literally stacked, I think, about 9 pops high, and then made sure it was all flush, and then installed the shelf. And then, of course, once that shelf was installed, I used it as the main predecessor for all the other shelves on the wall. So, we're still level. particular wall. Let me verify that you guys can see this before I start talking about it. Alright. So over here is the hallway, and you see this space right here. It's irritating because I don't have a shelf that I can put there. There's no shelf long enough. I probably could have done a couple of short shelves because you can get these shelves smaller for smaller areas, but it just doesn't jive well enough. So what I'm going to end up doing most likely is stacking 6 inches over here that relate to whatever series is over here. So I'm going to try and make it work to my advantage to where I can get as many 6 inches from over there over here, so that it's like, okay, everything kind of plays in together perfectly. But first, I'm going to move our Lord of the Rings collection. It's crooked. It's crooked. Oh, I'm breaking the tripod. You know what? Let's do that. We'll film it that way. There we go. Alright. Public service announcement. Fire suppression systems. Never break the mercury in a fire suppression system because it'll set off the fire suppression system for the entire building that you're in. And it'll flood. And then you're going to have really, really soggy pops. I don't know anything about that, but I do know that someone in some barracks somewhere one year decided to hang their uniform up on it. And of course the mercury in that thing broke. And the barracks were just, it was delicious. It was great. So, FYI, forewarning, and never block anything that could be helpful for a system or security system. I have a security system in my apartment. The alarm will sound. So, I have a very fancy apartment. So, just FYI. Just avoid them. And of course, I'm only going to stack those 6 inches up to that point because I still want, in case there is a fire, pretty much everything is going to be ruined. But I will be an out-of-the-box collector at that point. The Lord of the Rings collection is sorted and organized, aside from the 6 inchers and rides. There are no rides, but 2-packs. I'm sorry, the 2-packs. So moving on, we're going to put the Game of Thrones collection over here. Now, what I do when I'm organizing is I leave some space. So I have about 3 pops that I can add to this collection, knowing what I'm missing. I think 3 pops is a good number to go with, just so that I can add them to the top and reorganize in. So I'm going to leave enough space to put 3 pops in there. And then I'm going to start my Game of Thrones collection right here. So there'll be 3, maybe 6 pops, so that we can go either way. Now, if you guys want to see a separate video where I go over each and every Lord of the Rings pops or Game of Thrones pop that I have, comment down below, and that'll be a separate video, because this is definitely meant for organizing. So I'm going to do the same thing with Game of Thrones. I'm going to organize them by number and go from there. And if I have any cool anecdotes, I'll let you know.